Yo guys, what's going on? My name is Zachary Elbow Fever Furman, and today is my birthday. That's right, I'm 20. I'm no longer 19, I'm no longer a teenager, and it's exciting, but at the same time, I'm starting to realize how many of the pros in Overwatch League are actually just 18 and 19-year-olds, and these kids and contenders that are 15, 16, 17-year-olds shooting for pro, while I'm still sitting on the couch dreaming about how cool it would be to go chase my dream and become an Overwatch player. Truth is, I'm running out of time, and while I'm still in my prime, this is the last window of opportunity that I'll ever have. So I'm gonna make it count. I'm gonna go all in for the next year. I'm gonna put as much time and effort as I can into this game so I can be in the Overwatch League. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to
A smile is a rare commodity in my community. We hurtin', so we purchase them in sneakers and the jewelry. Sell them in sacks, pounds, and packs. To the max in public housing, ain't no room to relax.
Alright. Yo guys, what's going on? Hold up real quick, I'm gonna sync the video. Alright, cool. What's going on? Welcome to the first week of Overwatch League in 1 year. Here's my little notebook. I have everything I need written down for the week. As you can see, there's my name. I have a very gracious handwriting, obviously. Yeah, and I'm really excited for this. So, what have I learned this week? Well, this week has been up and down and a little bit crazy. So, before I even get started, the goal for the week was to gain about 200 to 300 SR. I started at 3100 diamonds, low diamonds, and off-tank player. I've been focusing a lot on my Roadhog play and a little bit on Diva. I've been flexing onto a Winston and Mercy a little bit. And overall, I did decently. I didn't actually meet my goal, which is unfortunate, but what can you do? I went from around 3116 to 3240 something, so it's a 100 plus SR gain, not quite the 200 I was looking for, but getting there. I would consider myself about mid-plat right now, or not mid-plat, mid-diamond right now. Really exciting stuff, and yeah, that's really cool that I did improve a little bit, even though it's only 100 SR. For the next week, I am going to shoot for another 100 to 300 SR. I want to be considered high diamond or even masters. I'm not 100% sure if I'll get to masters though. That does seem a little bit less realistic. So yeah, let's talk about the week. This week, my ultimate plan, of course, was the 200 SR, but I kept that goal kind of nebulous. I didn't really want to say how I was going to do it. I just wanted to give something easy to define and easy to tell when I've hit it. So it's hard to say I want to improve at my aim, because how do I show that I improve my aim? Like at my accuracy stats doesn't really matter. It's about the shots I need to hit, not the not the overall number itself. Especially because sometimes you just shoot into the sky, because why the fuck not? So I feel like this is a very easily quantifiable goal, but at the same time, it left a lot of different ways to actually reach my goal. So of course, I could work on my accuracy. I could work on a couple other things. I actually did change my sensitivity a little bit. More specifically, my mouse DPI from 1000 to 900 with a sensitivity of 4.62. I feel like that actually helped a lot. I've been practicing a lot of Roadhog, so landing those hooks have become just a little bit easier now with that addition, or that little not addition, that little change. And that's been pretty good. My Diva is still on point, but what I think I improved on the most is actually a better understanding of the game, and I've walked away with a lot more knowledge about a team fight. So there's a video, and in that video is sort of Jane explaining this kind of complicated system of how team fights work. And it's not really that complicated, but there's a lot of different variations and small things that would lead you to different little plot points. Basically, it's, you group up, you posture for poke and positioning, you engage once there's an opportunity, and then after engagement, it's the team fight, and the team fight sort of either devolves or it's a quick one, depends. And you either reset or you go on to win the fight. You stagger them out and you try to just get as much out of that win as possible, and then you set up for the next fight. So that was a great little lesson. I actually have watched that video before, but not this is before I took the game so seriously, and now that I'm really on the grind for the next year, I think this lesson that not only I learned but internalized and incorporated into my games really makes a big difference. So I'm pretty happy about that. So one of the major things I learned from that video and had to incorporate in my games is actually the whole resetting part. So one of the most important things I learned about resetting is that there are two types of resets. One is a hard reset, a full reset. That's pretty much go back to spawn. If you peek and try to shoot at them, you're just gonna fucking die. This happens a lot when you lose your main tank, actually. It's really hard to continue to poke and prod and position yourself without sort of that main tank, that shield, or even that monkey taking in threatening positions. And yeah, that's a hard reset. Pretty simple. That's what you see a lot. I actually noticed in Plat, when I was in Plat about like 2 weeks ago, that people only hard reset if they reset at all, and it would kind of you'd miss opportunities that you would have, and you kind of waste a lot of time. And then there's a different concept called soft resetting, where you hold your position, you still have enough resources that you can survive, but you don't have enough to win the fight, so you wouldn't make your engagement. This would mean say you have your main healer, your main tank, and you lose your off tank, or you lose your DPS, or your off healer, a part that's really not imperative to how the entire engagement goes, then you can stay in your position. You can hold that high ground. You can hold that spot that you fought already to take. And then once once your teammate comes back, then you can make your engagement instead of falling all the way back to spawn. Maybe the enemy team are smart enough to take that position from you. You can lose chokes. You can just a lot of really rough things that could happen if you choose to hard reset when you should have soft. So yeah, I thought that was a really great lesson. Something I've internalized pretty well. Something I've been focusing on recently, and I thought that's just a great little lesson of mine. But honestly, that's not the only thing I've learned from this week. I've also learned a lot about flanking and aggression, and when to take it and when to go for those opportunities, especially as a Roadhog. I feel like a Roadhog has a lot of potential to make those kind of plays, to go out and find hooks, to go out and get those kills, take off angles. That's super important as a Roadhog player. And if you hide behind your Orisha shield the entire game, you're honestly not going to get a lot of value if the Holt hooks aren't connecting. So against a Reinhardt Zarya, I like to go for different flanks and off angles, and what I like to do actually is use Orisa to pull people up, like we were going for a Holt hook, see if we can burn a bubble or two, and then I would hook from the side and get a really nice juicy target. So that was a really interesting flank. Aggression, I'm talking about when to push forward and when to fall back. So something like, we're up one and you see them start to soft reset. Well, if I come at this angle with my team coming from the front line, we'll have enough firepower to overwhelm them and take that positioning and even get a couple kills. Even if we don't get a couple kills, they're going to have to fall back, because that is not a sustainable position for them if we were to push really hard. This again goes back to the soft reset, hard reset kind of things on the just on the opposite side of the coin, and I found that to be really useful as well. But even though I learned about aggression, about flanking, about soft reset and hard resets, that's still not all I have learned this week. This has been a huge boon to me. I've become such a smarter player in just 1 week, just because I dedicated myself to really learning, and I'm pushing myself to go really hard into this Overwatch stuff professionally. So the last thing I want to talk about is actually win conditions. And I actually have a really cool clip I want to show you guys right now of me playing with a triple DPS setup, where I pretty much clutched the fight out with the help of my Doomfist because I know our win conditions. So let's kind of show you that real quick. Alright, so now that you're back, I thought that was pretty interesting, just talking about when it is winnable and when it isn't. Something that you might have noticed is sort of my target priority. At the beginning, of course, I just want to get onto point and make sure I contest. If you saw, there was no ticks when I choose to actually go on. I get slept and they take 2, which is a little unfortunate, but me and the the Doomfist me and the Doomfist sort of juggle off the points really well with each other, and we do that thing called ping pong, where one person goes on to contest, then he gets off and the other person goes on, and you sort of never let them build up capture point. So we did that very well. But what I wanted to do is isolate the Ana in that situation, because the 2 most important targets during a devolved fight is their main healer and their main tank. Without the main tank, we talked about this before, it's hard to take space and a lot of pressure is relieved, and you can't really control the pace of the fight without your main tank. Without your main healer, you sort of put a cap on how long they can actually take this fight, how much damage they can take, how much resources they can withstand. And if they have their main healer up, they're most likely just gonna bleed you out eventually through stagger kills. And if you are able to kill the Ana, or at least get the Ana away from the fight long enough that her value is not met, then she becomes kind of useless, and you can start slowly chipping down something like the Reinhardt or the Roadhog in that situation. The DPS are going to start losing their duels because they don't have the sustain and they're not getting any pocket or anything. So it just makes it a lot more difficult. Now, of course, you don't need your main tank or your main healer to win a fight like this, but it is extremely, extremely hard to do so, and you're going to have to play nearly perfect. Like, without the main tank, again, you can't really take space, and you just need to clean the fight as fast as possible without him. And with the healer, it's pretty much the exact same thing. You need to win the fight right there and then without your main healer, or else the damage over time will take you out. So yeah, that was the lessons I've learned this week from week 1 of Overwatch League in 1 year. I'm super excited to make this, and I really hope you guys enjoyed. I'm going to be coming at you with a couple other ones next week as well. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. And right here, so you see like the tracer rounds from the their healer, and I know they only have one healer right now, and even if it was like a with a Zen or a Lucio with an Ana, I know Ana is pretty much priority in these fights, because if I can take out the Ana, then they really have no legs to stand on and they won't be able to last too long. So I'm gonna be a little cheeky, I'm gonna throw my fucking bomb at her, and watch this shit. Works like a fucking charm. So while in the game, obviously I didn't have the outline of her body. All I knew is that she was somewhere in this area. So I kind of winged it, see if my bomb could get anything. I wasn't sure if she could back up around a corner, But what I wanted to show you guys is this fucking POV of the Anna where she hears the bomb, right? Here's the nerf this. Think she, oh, I'm safe. Look at how much, like, how is this bomb gonna hit me? Dude, she just, oh my god, this let's watch that in slow motion. 50%. Nerf this. Look at, not even unscoping. Wait, what? the second where she just stares at the bomb and realizes she's fucked, dude. That just made my day.